32 minutes, 21 seconds. 5-second tone followed by a 1-second pause.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Okay, gang, let's go.
From the space city called Houston, Texas, welcome to Spaceboy Universe, featuring Spaceboy and the lovely Surlana. So strap in and prepare for launch sequence. And remember, it's Spaceboy's Universe, and you're in it.
Greetings and salutations, it's your lovable Spaceboy, and it is June the 6th, 2016, and we're on show number 037. And congratulations, you've made it to Beta Week on Spaceboy Universe. I'll explain that a little bit more as the program unfolds. But as always, if you want to follow us, you can do so at the SB Universe or hashtag us at SB Universe. Of course, you can also follow Surlana and myself. Surlana is Surlana, and Spaceboy Music. You should know how to spell that. We're on Facebook. Just look for Spaceboy Universe. Spreaker Chat is where it's at. You can go to the spaceboyuniverse.com site and look at the top. You'll see the Spreaker Chat going with the little dancing bubble. Click there, and that'll get you in with all the other space cadets. Also, we know that you love us and like to carry us on demand. So when you go out in the field, wherever you may be, if you're going into Dreamtime, you can listen on Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, and iTunes. And before I get any further, and Surlana throws something at me, introducing the lovely Surlana across from me. Say hello, Surlana.
It's real this time, right?
It is real.
Because he practiced 3 times before with 3 false starts. I'm thinking, is it now? Is it now? It's like, no, it's an hour from now. I'm like, well, dang, what am I doing in here?
Well, it's what it is I like to practice.
I've got an hour. I don't need to be here.
Because it is Monday, right?
Yeah, look, I know.
And
we're Monday all over the place.
And it's not Saturday, and we're doing a live broadcast.
So time is precious.
Well, it is, because we're only with everybody for 1 hour. So the format for tonight is a little bit different in the sense that we'll take a break at the bottom of the hour, and then we're out of here at the top. So this is banter for the full hour, and we just kind of go where the rapids take us. Yes. As she says, as she's filing her nails. So
no, I'm distracted.
As always. Is it Dennis? Is he distracting you again?
No, it's just the internet in general. It's
distracting. Yeah, the internet can be very distracting. So, as you know, you're tuning in. It's Monday night, and we've decided to test out if we can do Spaceboy Universe live more than the one night that we do. And then, of course, we do Spaceboy music sometimes on Wednesday, and we've done Data Bites on Wednesday. But we thought, let's try to add 4 days this week, and then plus our normal Saturday broadcast at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. There was a few people that had asked us, hey, can we get some more Spaceboy Universe? And I said, K28, calm down. Let me see what I can do. And so, we're going to give credit where credit's due. K28 kind of pushed us in a direction to try to add some more Spaceboy Universe to your life, and here we are. What do you think, Surlana?
Well, we'll see how it goes. See if the numbers bear out. Of course, we kind of did it last-minute decision, so I don't know if we got the word out there in time.
It's kind of like Field of Dreams. You build it, they will come kind of thing. So
let's hope so.
Let's hope so, exactly. Knock on some wood somewhere. So
that was actual wood, by
the way. We got some. We finally nailed down the 18th as far as our schedule is concerned. we had been kind of holding out, on our board over here before we started putting more dates on the
far as our Saturday
schedule.
shows
Yeah,
go.
our Saturday schedules. And the 18th is going to be Comic Palooza here in Houston, Texas. We are jazzed because we just got word back that we've been granted our media access. And so it's going to be awesome.
And this is different from Space CityCon. Space CityCon is definitely smaller.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the entire venue when you walk in. And we were just regular patrons waiting in line like everyone else. And we got in, and it was our first con. We didn't know what we were doing. But
Right.
this time, we have a media pass.
Right.
So we're going to get access to things we would not, the normal patron would not
Right.
have access to people and things. And
So
line jumping and-
hopefully, yeah, we'll be able to actually get some interviews with well-known people that you'll be familiar with, and it's going to be a little bit different. Like I said, the comic con that we went to, Space City Comic Con, was a learning experience, and so I turned to Surlana. I said, this really hurt us waiting in this line. We could have been in there taking care of business, kind of doing whatever. And so I said, we need to look into getting some kind of media access to get into this event. And, as always, Surlana was on it. Wha-bam!
Mm-hmm.
And we managed to pull that off. So what that means is that we'll have Comic Palooza talk on that Saturday. And, of course, as we're building up Spaceboy Universe video stuff, which our segments are going to be called Spaceboy Universe Visits. So that'll be Comic-Con, not Comic-Con, Comic Palooza here at the
it's Houston's Comic-Con.
It's Houston's Comic-Con. And that'll be here in Houston, Texas. And, of course, you'll get to see the video. And we are so jazzed to possibly interview many people.
I'm still in shock. I can't believe it. So look for many, many, many posts about that starting, I guess, tomorrow. Going to blitz social media.
Banners,
Yeah, blitz.
fireworks.
So you'll be
bumper-
tired of hearing about it.
Bumper cars, pull.
Yeah.
So just tune in and just look forward to that, and look forward to the media blitz from Spaceboy Universe on that subject. I had a lot of fun Saturday night talking to Solaris Blue Raven on her program, The Witching Hour.
Yes, it was our first time we were interviewed together anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So that was always interesting.
I like her. Before you got to know her, I knew that she was a very kind-hearted spirit, and she was very nice, very open to have us on her program. And
she talks fast.
Yeah, I told you she talks fast, but I like that about her, and the fact that you realize how when she would speak, it was very concise, to the point. It's da-da-da-da-da, bam, and it's like, what just happened here? But yeah, it's always nice to hear her talk, and she's able to. I guess she hit me on the nail because as a IT guy, I'm tuned into that kind of So it was nice to actually finally talk to her on the air like that. And what's cool is that she's going to be on our show next Saturday on the 11th. So we'll have her for 2 hours, and hopefully she'll take some calls, and it'll be nice to talk to her. And I think you've already started winding up with the pitch. And
Yes, I've started trying to get myself educated on some of the topics that she could talk about or may talk about, or things I just want to know if she knows about, and she could educate me as well. So,
and then from my end, I might be a little quiet during that conversation because it's going to be like, just a learning experience from both ladies, and I think it's going to be a great, great show, and you must tune into that. Like our Patrick Sporer show was awesome. It's always a pleasure to talk to Patrick on and off the air, and he is a wealth of information and advice, and we love Patrick Sporer for all the things he does.
He will be on Solaris's show. Is it Saturday night?
This Saturday night, right after our show.
After our show in a time frame.
Right,
it's after our show at midnight, our time, Central Standard Time.
Well, it's 11 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Oh, 11 p.m.
Yeah, it's 12 a.m.
Eastern.
Yeah, Eastern. See,
And that's
I've reached a
on-
point where I can't do this time change thing.
No, I'm so tired.
I just say, hey, look
I'm
for
so
our
sick
time.
of time zones. Screw time zones.
It's to the point where I think you and I are pretty much in the same boat when it comes to like
Trying to understand it all.
It's 10 p.m. Eastern and something Pacific, and I say, you're educated. Go out there, and I'm going to tell you, it comes on at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. You do the math.
There's a site that will tell you all the time zones at any given moment.
Time and date, is it?
Timeanddate.com.
Yeah, I go to that for
I do
everything.
too.
So we.
freedomslips.com.
Freedomslips.com.
And it's just, you could just find her through there, find her show through there.
Right.
And I suppose they have a player.
Yeah, they got a player, and they've got a little chat room in there, and of
Chat
course,
room.
so you can engage in their audience, and so
So
check.
he'll be on 11 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we will definitely be listening to support him
Right.
in spirit.
So that's exciting. And then, of course, I guess on the 25th, just letting people know about our schedule, we have Reverend John Polk will be on.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's going to be pretty exciting. And I think we have, some looking at the future. We got Manu coming back to the show, I believe the 23rd. And if you remember earlier this year, Jim and Jody Bray was on our show.
Yes.
They're going to be back on the 13th of August. So, we're loading up the board, and before I forget, because if I don't mention his name, I'm sure he's going to say, like, what about me? I'm sure at some point we'll get Gordon Root back on the air.
Because he does have books and things coming out left and right.
Maybe we can convince him to come on this week during our
A little short.
short interview for Beta Week.
If he doesn't have too much going on during the week, he may have too much going on.
I know he was kind of loaded today, but and I don't mean that in an alcohol sense, but
No. No.
he had a lot on his plate, and he was talking about crawling under his bed, and boy, I can tell you I can relate to that. That's seems a lot of that's going around, and so get well there, my friend, and like I said, we'll be in touch with you sooner or later. So yeah, that's some of the things coming down the pipe, and we've got a lot of things that are not scheduled just yet because we're working on things.
Yeah.
We're working on going back to some of the shows that we provide you the information. We don't really have a guest on, but we have a topic, and then between Surlana and myself.
Yeah, I've got things to fill in if there's nobody that wants to be on, or we can't get a certain guest. So don't worry, there'll be content. And I'll make you like it.
Mm-hmm. Well, Surlana, I was reading on the old interweb about Facebook and the Messenger app. You know that they've been in this migration to pull the Messenger out of Facebook app, or just,
I'm confused by this because when you're on your desktop or your laptop and you're in Facebook, there's a little chat window, which I'm using right now.
Mobile.
But
I'm strictly talking about mobile.
I have an app that's separate on my phone. It's completely separate from Facebook.
And that's what I was going to talk about. That's been the direction that Facebook is taking.
It's Messenger. It
It's
says Messenger.
It's Facebook Messenger, where they've separated that. I even have, going off of the side tangent, I'll go back to this, is that I even have an app for it's called Pages, for like Spaceboy Universe and Spaceboy Music, and there's a separate app for that. But I could still get to those pages within Facebook. But the thing is that they're just trying to, I don't know why they're trying to separate that, because you can click the Messenger button within Facebook app, and then it'll take you to Messenger. But
yeah, it does that for me.
But there should be some kind of the app or button that pushes you back to Facebook, But since it's such a chore, I was thinking that now might be the time that if you wanted to consider another messaging app, that you could.
What I like is WhatsApp.
And I'm glad you brought that up. You want to tell the audience a little
Nobody
bit?
uses it. I'm trying to get you to use it. Actually, my brother and my dad, we all used it to try to communicate across the world with each other. And it's free. You can send video, photos. I've not tried to send a file, but I thought you could. You can forget what else you see. Nobody uses it. It's so rarely anybody will use it with me. I'd like to try it, test all its capabilities.
Mm-hmm. Well, I haven't really used it in the sense because usually when I'm chatting, when I'm online on my desktop, I will use the Messenger because it just pops up right there, and then I'll leave Facebook up. Now, as far as the WhatsApp, I've heard a lot of good things about you talking about it, and it's definitely worth checking it out and and pulling it up. And I guess I can make maybe a commitment to you live on the air that I'll go ahead and download it and start testing it with you. But currently Facebook has added the ability to do the video broadcast. Remember I was complaining about that, to where the video where you could take a video and talk into it and do a presentation, very similar to Periscope. And which incidentally, I like Periscope. It's great. The only thing I have with Periscope is that when you start it up, it immediately takes the camera from the back of the phone instead of the front
of the phone.
And so
that's sort of counter.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I don't mind the switching. I wish there was an ability that when I started my program from Periscope that I could, say, hey, I'm doing a selfie. I'm not filming anything, so film me, And so that's what I wish Periscope would add. But at least with Facebook, I believe you can start it by looking at you. So I'm having to use Periscope for Periscope and to upload it to Twitter. And then
should do to Facebook too.
Well, I don't know if I've seen anything Facebook related connected to it. But at the same time, I'm using Facebook, my personal thing, and I'm trying to get stuff where it's in the Spaceboy universe and Spaceboy music stuff, depending on what we're covering, to go in there. So there's actually live video for that, because I know we have followers in there that I'm trying to reach that may not have Twitter or may not,
But Periscope's free. You can just get it and just look for us there.
What about the WhatsApp? It's free, right?
It's free too.
Ads?
I don't know if it does. You're supposed to be able to do phone calls, but I've never successfully done it. You and I should test that.
I tell you what, let's do some beta tests
with
on
Wi-Fi and stuff,
and then follow up with the audience and see what we come up with.
Oh, you know what? Just quick before you move on to something else. Today, I saw this thing in the sky, and it was sort of a yellow-orangey thing, and it burned. Do you know what it is?
I believe you're talking about the sun.
I've heard about the sun.
Yes.
I'll have to look out for that again, see if it comes out again.
We got a break in the weather, so that means that we have our sun. And so it's probably going to be in the next 24 hours before we start getting soaked again. I read interesting thing you brought up, rain again, is that we've had...
It's prominent in our lives.
I can't remember the exact details, but somebody measured out that we've had 4 times Manhattan size of water. In other words, if you measure...
The size of Manhattan.
So if you go from city level
right
to the top of the Empire State Building...
No.
And multiply that times 4.
No.
We've had that much rain here in Texas. In other words, it's been...
In 2 months?
It's been so much rain. No, I guess over the... I don't know what... I'm going to have to go back. It just popped in my mind.
2 months,
so, yes, we've had... if you were to spread all this water all over Texas, it would be 8 inches thick, or deep, or I guess it would be deep. 8 inches deep, covering all of Texas. That's how much rain we've had here in Texas. And meanwhile,
starting to mold.
California is a dust bowl, and so they haven't had much rain out there as well. So we would love to give California some of our rain. I was thinking if there was a way we could collect all this and then pipe it to California, I'm sure it would be a win-win for everyone. We could get some of rid of this water, and they could actually get some water. So anyway, today it was sunny. I really didn't get a chance to go out. I was busy.
No, see, when I'm at work, I'm not near an exterior wall or window. I'm like an interior, and I don't leave the room unless I have to, because there's really no point in it. But sometimes I'll catch a glimpse if I'm going to the 3rd floor,
I think most IT jobs in general are like that.
They're very insular.
and I think that's why I'm so ashy white, because
Me too. I'm
'cause
pale.
I don't,
I'm so pale.
I don't spend much time out in the sun. Not like I used to when I was a kid.
You don't have your redneck suntan on your
you mean
right arm
my
anymore.
farmer's
tan, where
yeah.
you're leaning your arm on the
I look
door.
I look slightly anemic now, and so
You're wasting away. We gotta get you a job soon.
yeah, hopefully soon. Let's see, what else do I have on the list here? This apparently is the season for remakes, huh? You got Ghostbusters is going to be out soon.
Oh yeah.
And now I was just reading an article that Brian Grazer is going to remake Splash. The original movie was with Tom Hanks and Daryl Hannah in 1984.
That was a perfectly adorable little movie.
I knew.
Leave it alone.
First off, you sound like just about a lot of people. Okay. I had to really think about this because
but not everything needs to be remade.
True. I mean, did we really need the Beverly Hillbillies remake? But anyway, I digress. The point I'm trying to make here is, I may not agree with the fact that Splash should not be made. I'm thinking I'm more in the lines of, okay, let them make it, and if it bombs, well, then they'll teach them a lesson. I mean, granted. It's kind of, I guess what kind of brought this out of me was the Ghostbusters thing. Mm-hmm. There is so much flack that this movie's gotten, and it hasn't even come out yet. And everybody's like, busting a nut over the fact that, this is going to be terrible. How could they replace it with an all-female cast? And, oh, my God. Oh, what are they doing to my childhood? Get over it. I mean, it doesn't change the movies that were made in the past. Feel great that these movies are getting remade. If you don't like it, the best way to do something when you don't like it?
Don't watch it?
Don't watch it. Don't do it.
But how do you know you don't like it if you've never...
Well, then, while those people are sitting at home and everybody else is going to the theater and it makes it $1 million, quadruple million, whatever it makes... And they think, well, I guess I should go see it or whatever. Or if it's just out of principle that, I'm not going to see it because they ruined my childhood. Whatever, how can they ruin your childhood? Your childhood is already set in stone. It's the past. It's something that you were a kid. It's time to move on. Time marches on. And so it's an inevitability that the younger generation is going to take from the past and make things their own way. Reshape it, reform it.
I can't think of any movie, like big blockbuster movie from our childhood or 80s that's been remade or is rumored to be remade or could be remade that would just ruin everything for me. I can't. Well, let me put it this way, and you don't. Do you have a nail file over there that you can use?
Is this Austen?
Yes.
Jane Austen talking.
Play solitaire for a minute. Okay. Remakes and redos and recasts. How many versions of Pride and Prejudice has there been? And it started in the 30s until they finally got to the ultimate one. And even after that, they still made one with Keira Knightley and this, I don't know who this sad-looking guy is. And they're going to keep doing it. And they've made...
Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies, which you were like...
And they've made a Bollywood version, and they've made, alternate
in all
versions.
Fairness,
and there's been fan fiction. And
like
it's a huge thing.
Here, Clueless.
Clueless is Emma, yes.
Yeah, but do you have a problem with that?
No, it's perfectly adorable.
So it was just... And this is an example of what I'm bringing up, is they took Jane Austen...
And you didn't even know you were watching Jane Austen.
That's not the point. The point is that Murphy, whatever her name was. So they took it and retold it in a different way. And it
made it accessible.
And it was a good movie. They made a good movie out of it. Who's to say they take Ghostbusters, remake it in a different way, and it's different. Mm-hmm. Now, I'll tell you this. I'm not going to go see Men in Black with... I can't remember. They're taking
they doing that?
They're taking 21 Jump Street and putting the characters in Men in Black.
Huh?
I know. I don't know what Sony is smoking over there, but yeah, it's like they're doing. And I can't believe that they're doing that.
Sounds like box office poison, but what do I know? I'm not their target audience, so have fun with that.
Yeah, so that's an example of the extreme. Like, okay, that is really stupid. But going back to the Ghostbusters thing, that's a stupid question.
I know. Sorry, these are more Star Trek in references.
So Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space Nine.
Augmented, yes. Do your research. So that's how I feel about that. Ghostbusters, I'm okay with that. Splash, hey, if they want to do it, fine. It's not going to change how I originally enjoyed Tom Hanks and Daryl Hannah in the original movie. It was a very enjoyable movie. 1984, hey, that was my teenage years. Great movies during that time, during the mid 80s.
You were a teenager in 84?
Yes, I was a teenager in 84. About 14 years, around
But
14.
I was in first grade in 79.
Yeah, 79.
How does that work out?
I was about 13, 14 years old in 84.
You're not that much older than me.
Look, dear.
You can't be.
You just turned... Oh, really?
You can say it, 44.
44? And I'm 46. So you couldn't have been one in 79.
I was in first grade in 79.
First grade. So, first grade. But how old were you?
7?
7? 8, 9, 10. So, yeah, that's about right. 6 years difference.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, back to the thing. I was a teenager.
You probably matured really quickly.
My teenage years were the 80s. And so, 84 was, I was about 13, 14 years old. And another blockbuster movie that came out close to that time period was Aliens.
What did you do when Aliens came out?
I skipped school. I was so like, I've got to see this movie. And, which is interesting because when the first movie came out, it came out in 79, Alien, and I wasn't allowed to see it. I guess my parents...
You weren't allowed to see it?
Well, I was living with my grandmother at the time, and I guess she asked my uncle, would be okay to see it. He said, yeah, it's okay, but there is this one scene where she's in her underwear, and so,
heaven forbid you see a woman's booty.
Yeah, so I guess I didn't get to see it, but later on, I guess about 2 and a half years later, I did.
So you're 15?
Well, I caught it on HBO or something at that time, so I got to see that. And then when I heard that this movie was coming out, Aliens, it was like, I got to go see this movie. So I ended up skipping school, got to the early showing, and I stayed there and watched it 3 times. The first 2 times I saw it, I was all by myself in the theater, sitting right smack dab in the center, and it just come out with THX sound systems. And when they had the scenes when they're like doing the fight scene and the processor, and all these machine guns going off and the aliens screaming, and I mean, it was like, my face lit up. It was like, it was just total.
So that you skipped school during the day?
Yeah.
How did you get away with that?
Well, I
never asked you.
I was a regular Ferris Bueller at the time, and I forged a doctor's thing. Please excuse my son. He has a doctor's appointment at such and such. Thank you.
It was during the school day. There shouldn't have been anybody else really there in the theater.
Yeah, there was nobody else.
Oh, you must have loved that.
I loved it. It was great.
See, that kind of reminds me when, from like first grade to 8th grade, I went to a private school.
Uh-huh.
So it was smaller than a regular, public school. It was a little bit more because you had to pay for it. And my friend Holly and I, our mothers would write us notes and they wouldn't date them. And they would give them back to us. The PE teacher would read it and give it back to us, and we could just recycle them. We'd have them write, and and our mothers were in on it because they thought PE was ridiculous. So they would write it in different ink colors, like
right.
Black this week, blue this week. So that's our way of getting out of PE.
Now, kids, I'm not condoning skipping school, but if there's a good movie,
it's worth it to totally do it.
I mean, it was nice to break the rules on that one because I really enjoyed that movie.
You mentioned the Ghostbusters reboot. Mm-hmm. So what I read today was that there's...
Surlana, before you get into that...
Are you going to take a break?
Yeah, let's go ahead and take our break.
We do breaks?
Yeah, we do one break. We've been going at it 30 minutes. We got 30 minutes to go here, so... I am from another planet, as always, and you're listening to SpaceboyUniverse.com. We'll be right back after this.
I'm from another planet.
Hello, Space Cadets. It's me, Spaceboy of Spaceboy Universe Live. I'm here to ask you to consider donating to cover our costs for broadcasting our live show. We love our show. We believe in the product, but we need your support. So visit spaceboyuniverse.com and click the Donate Now button. This will take you to the SBU PayPal account, and you can choose the payment type of your choice. Every little bit helps. Surlana and I appreciate your support. And as always, listen to Spaceboy Universe live on Saturday nights at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, only on spaceboyuniverse.com.
Hello Space Cadets. It is announcer Savannah. I want to tell you that as a dedicated member of the SBU team, you always want to look your best. Do it in a Spaceboy Universe t-shirt. Get yours at spaceboyuniverse.com by clicking the banner on the website. Remember that, it's Spaceboy's Universe, and you're in it.
This is author Gordon Root. You are listening to the Spaceboy Universe. This is K28, and I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hi, y'all. This is Lori calling from Texas, and I love listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hey, this is Dave Cruz, host of Beyond the Strange, and you're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
This is Wendy. I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hey, y'all. This is Lorelai DeLille. I listen to Spaceboy Universe. Don't you? Tell your mom and them I said hi.
The epic battle begins this Friday. Direct from ringside at Laser Death Melt and Bot vs. Bot in Galaxy's 2-ton weight championship, where your challenger, Good Bot, will face the reigning champion, Bad Bot. You're terminated. Reserve seating starting at $30. 2-drink minimum, where ladies don't get in free. This is an SBU production. You're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hi, this is Spaceboy, and I want to take this time to invite you to join Spaceboy and Surlana in our on-demand show called Data Bites, bite-sized pieces of the universe. You can catch it on demand on Spreaker.com. Just search for Spaceboy Universe. And remember, it's Spaceboy's Universe, and you're in it. Hey, Surlana!
What?
If Spaceboy Universe was cheese, would you eat it? Come on now, it's a simple question.
Maybe?
SpaceboyUniverse.com. Techno, dance, atmospheric moods? Yes, my friends. My latest release, Digital, has something for everyone. Even makes a great gift for Grandma. Buy your digital download at SpaceboyMusic.com.
Greetings, Space Cadets. Let's see what's in the sky tonight in the Spaceboy Universe. Tonight, in the eastern sky, we have Spaceboy Universe rising above the horizon in glorious splendor. And in the west, we can see Surlanus Majoris, which is visible at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, just below the K28 belt. So keep your eyes on the sky and listen to Spaceboy Universe.
Greetings everyone. You can catch Spaceboy Universe on every Saturday night at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. However, we know that you might not be able to catch the live show. That is why we have many places to listen to it on demand, like iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube and Spreaker. So take the universe with you wherever you go. Always remember that, it's Spaceboy's Universe, and you're in it.
To call in, dial area code 713-701-5214. You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
All right, we're back for the final half hour of our show. And Surlana, you were about to talk a little Ghostbuster action too.
Well, you're talking about remakes and reboots. That's one of the biggest ones. It's got the most coverage. So, leading up to its release this summer, there's going to be a Ghostbusters Day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, that's what Paul Feig's been saying he's going to do. They're going to reboot, and so, there's been some buzz about people have been less than impressed with the movie trailers, and others are. I don't know if they're just trying not to reveal too much in the trailer. So, they say the original cast that's still living fully supports the new cast.
Dan Aykroyd said he loved it. He did a review of it the other day.
And they may team up and promote the release. So the cast, like you said, cast members Bill Murray, Ernie Hudson, Annie Potts may show up on the red carpet or something for Ghostbusters Day on June 8th, and they're going to be on Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Cool. Which is not the first time that Jimmy's kind of done anything like that. Remember when he had Back to the Future on his show, and he had I can't believe I went for mind blank here for a second. Michael J. Fox and help me out, Surlana. Doc
Christopher
Brown.
Lloyd?
Thank you. Man, how could I? Yeah, it was in celebration for Back to the Future Day.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's cool. Have you heard about this, I guess, controversy with the X-Men movie that just came out?
Controversy?
Yeah, apparently in the poster for the, I guess, the movie, it shows, I guess, the main villain holding Mystique.
Yes, I saw the poster. I didn't even think anything of it.
Yeah, I mean, and I was thinking to myself,
he's a villain.
He's a villain. He's
doing bad things.
Doing bad things, and of course, everybody went crazy over the fact that this is promoting abuse against women, and
it's promoting abuse against mutants.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, and I think that's where I get all nuts in the head over people like this. Is I think you're just overseeing things in a picture. I mean, sure, Jennifer Gardner, is it? No, it's not Jennifer Gardner. Oh, my God. Did I just do a slip there?
Lawrence?
Jennifer Lawrence. Thank you. So,
where would you be without me?
Once again, I'm thinking superhero movies, and I remember her playing Karma Electra. Not Karma. Now I'm messing. Anyway, let's do a rewind.
Just drop this and move on to something else.
Okay, just the fact that I did not see I see what they're talking about, but I think it's stupid, and we're moving on from there. Remember, that's a stupid question.
Yes, yes, DS9.
All right, so going back to surfing the interwebs, I came across. Did you see this Lego thing that was done in honor of Zootopia?
No.
Oh my goodness! I think this happened in China. Well, they had made one of the characters from Zootopia. I guess it's the fox guy.
I'm assuming this is a movie.
It is. It's Disney, I guess, animation, I believe.
Yeah,
and
I'm out of the loop.
So they created this character out of Legos, right? So you've seen when they do things out of Legos, right?
Yes.
When they make stuff and really cool stuff. Okay, just checking. I didn't know if...
Not that dead to the world.
I didn't know if you had started filing your nails yet. So basically, some kid went underneath the red ropes and then smashed this Lego to bits.
Wait a minute! I think I did see something about that.
It takes a lot of time for these things to be made, and the guy, I guess he was.
Please tell me the kid got in trouble.
No, it was like, it was like they really didn't punish him or anything.
That's wrong. In my day, you'd have been punished.
Oh, more than that, I imagine. If you had done something like that, my mother would have gone, all gorilla on me, and
the Lego Mafia would have taken you out.
Yes, I mean, it's much different. Kids have no self-respect in the sense that you should not go underneath that velvet rope, or you should not
respect the velvet rope.
You should not go into that monkey cage.
Why ain't you watching your kids?
Yeah. So anyway,
they have these really cute harnesses for them.
They do, and I used to laugh at that in the sense that really you got your kid on a leash, and what are you expecting them to escape the Earth's gravity and So, but yeah, I see a purpose for that for some kids now that, man, maybe they do need some kind of harness to keep them around their parent if their parent is not going to watch them in that sense. So, hey, I'm moving on from this. Do you hear about the Star Wars story movie that's coming out this December? They've had to reshoot up to 40% of the movie.
It's a huge scandal / controversy talking point. Is this Rogue One they're talking about?
Yeah, Rogue One. And I heard that it was like, it was too dark and it didn't really encompass the true spirit of the Star Wars movies. And then I've also heard that they wanted to reshoot some things to put the new Han Solo that's going to be in the Han Solo movies. I think you probably saw him or something.
All I heard about the younger Han Solo is for the actor. I've never heard of him, and a lot of people are like, "Who is he? We don't like him. Get rid of him." Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I've heard.
There were better actors that I saw that were out there that really captured Han Solo, and this kid is not one of them. And so
take your word for it.
Well, you get to that age, and everyone's a kid in your eyes. But yeah, so he's going to be playing the young Han Solo, and somehow they wanted to incorporate him into this movie, and no telling. But I guess really, when you look at it, Disney is figuring, well, this has to be $1 billion movie. It just has to be. So I can only imagine shooting 40% of the thing over again. That it would be well within its budget to do that in order to make the $1 billion that it wants to make, like it made off the first Star Wars Awakens.
They could easily make this an interesting film within that universe.
It is
without making it.
It has a lot of potential.
Heavy with stars, it doesn't have to star anybody that's already well known.
Right. I mean, originally I didn't. It wasn't going to involve anybody from A New Hope, and now I've heard about the Han Solo part.
I mean, are they trying to just shove these in there to get more seats filled in this theater?
That could be it, or it's just they're trying to make a connection to the other movies. I was kind of disappointed because I've been watching Star Trek Rebels, the animated CGI,
yes.
And so I've gotten pretty much into that, and so I was kind of disappointed from a standpoint that the Star Trek, man, I'm losing it tonight. Star Wars, the Star Wars movie that's coming out get my thoughts together, Jim. This coming Christmas was not going to include, or hasn't been, told that Rebels is not being used because they're at the same time period that is happening in this movie, Rogue One. And so I think it's a shame that they don't make a connection to that, because the CGI show Star Wars Rebels is canon. It's considered canon along with Star Wars. A lot of Star Wars names to remember. Star Wars, the Clone Wars. And so, yeah, it'll be interesting to see with all this recut and everything. We already know that Darth Vader is going to be in there.
Oh?
Yeah, Darth Vader's in there. I've heard you're going to get to see him slice and dice. So, because it's these people, I would imagine not many people make it back from this mission to find the plans for the Death Star. Yeah. And then from what I heard, the film takes you all the way up until 10 minutes before A New Hope. So, up to the point where Leia...
Wow, that's close.
I mean, where Leia's on the ship and she puts the information into R2-D2. So 10 minutes before that, you have this movie that leads up to that.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty exciting.
From that angle, I think that is cool, because, you get like a prequel.
I'd be willing to watch it then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, hopefully one day I'll get you to watch Star Wars The Force Awakens.
It'll be there. You purchased it, right?
Yeah.
It's on Amazon. Ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I just would like to get your spin on it.
I know, but we're so busy.
I know, we are more busy than usual. Now with this beta week, though, so...
And Comic Palooza.
Oh, yeah, Comic Palooza. Did I say we're going to Comic Palooza?
We're still reeling over it. We've got a lot of homework to do. We've got a lot of media blitzes to get out, but all to the good. All to the good.
So, Surlana, I sent you a video today, or you probably saw it on my my list of things that I save for banter talk, it was John Oliver. Do you know who John Oliver
yes,
is, right?
Yes, I do. He's a British comedian that has his own newsy/talk show comedy thing on HBO called Last Week Tonight.
It's kind of a takeoff of the day. What was it? The
Daily Show.
The Daily Show,
but
right?
I like this better.
Oh, it is better.
I like a lot better. They don't bother.
He's pretty funny. I actually enjoy listening to him talk. And so basically on his show,
he was on Community a little bit too.
Yeah, he was. He played the professor. That was I was laughing. You had to see that.
My favorite thing when he was on Community when it was still on NBC was, "Oh goodness me, my shoes are untied according to British standards."
So John Oliver in his show was talking about the I guess debt collections, and kind of an interesting topic. I fell right into for various reasons, if you know what's going on right now. And and it was funny, it was entertaining, and basically the subject was about zombie debt. So you get a company that has debt with you, and say, for instance, you don't pay it, they have a company that might buy that debt off of them, and it goes to them. And the interesting thing on that was that that company might sell it off to somebody else, but while they have it, they can write it off as a tax write-off. And then sell that debt to somebody else.
Well, the zombie debt was you have a debt from a long time ago and you thought you've paid it or it's been closed and taken care of, and then years later here it comes up again through this other party that's bought it, and now they expect you to pay this from 25 years ago. Mm-hmm. And so it comes back from the grave like a zombie. And
some of the people that do the collections for this are really shady, and one of them really caught my ear was this one guy was talking about how he would go after people and he would find out where you would work, and then he would find out who your boss was, or the owner of the company, and then what he would do is once he found out the owner of the company, he would find out their home phone number and start harassing. Could you imagine the president of your company or your boss of your company, and then somebody calling him about a debt that you have, and then that just would make my life so miserable. But he was laughing about it.
Get that person fired, so they really have no money to pay you back. That's brilliant.
Mm-hmm. So I was like, I've heard and read a lot about stories like this, and it's really a shame that we put more restrictions on people who want to go hunt here in Texas to buy a license to hunt than companies that can create themselves to do this collection. And so apparently the industry regulates themselves. And in this situation, I feel like, man, they're not really regulating anything.
No.
And it's just because if you got people like that guy.
He says they are going to try to self-regulate these companies, but who knows?
I really think in this situation, they really don't have the ability, because I feel like things have been, because they get more complaints than any other item that's out there, and it doesn't seem like it gets any better. Mm-hmm. So, going back to John Oliver as he's finishing up, he talks about how he forms a collection agency of his own, and as soon as he puts his thing out there, he gets an offer to buy. Or an offer for, I guess it was $15 million, and
just under $15 million.
Yeah, just under $15 million worth of debt, medical debt.
Medical debt, that's the key.
So, needless to say, I guess really at the end of this program, he says, "You know what? I am going to give this. I'm going to, give this debt to not a collection agency, but a company that relieves debt."
He worked with a company that helps forgive medical debt. Mm-hmm. So they formed their own company. They bought all these names and social security numbers of people that owed this money for $6,000.
I guess it was about like that.
So there's almost $15 million worth of medical debt. They bought the information, just the information of who these people are, for $6,000. Worked with another company, with their newly formed company, and just forgave almost $15 million of medical debt.
Which makes him
the most awesome human being in the world.
Because the only other person who's given away that much money has been Oprah. and that was when she gave away cars. I guess it was a total of $8 million, and so he is now I guess he claimed himself as the king or the queen of daytime TV. Because he helped out.
Because he says we've officially given away more money than Oprah because she only gave away $8 million.
So I thought that was really great because one, medical bills are probably one of the worst to have, and the fact that John Oliver came in and helped that out, and it's really interesting. Some of the programs you should tune in when you get a chance, even if you don't have. He's on Showtime.
He's on YouTube.
But I was going to get that, but he's on Showtime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So, but it's not like you need to tune into Showtime.
No, I see on YouTube.
You can get the clips on YouTube, and that's how we watch him. And it's great to watch his program because he really takes an issue that's newsworthy, but puts that comedy
makes
spin.
Makes you think. It's. And I think I've seen some job descriptions for jobs here in Houston that wants that same kind of, like, the job description was like, hey, everyone will write what you think. We are a witty, anchorless newscast. I think, like, there's somebody here in Houston that's trying to be like a local version of that or The Daily Show. So that's now becoming, it seems to me that's becoming a popular format to get news. So news is supposed to be entertaining and informative. So I don't know about getting all your news from some place like The Daily Show or Last Week Tonight, but I mean, is it any less factual than CNN or Fox? So something to think about.
I guess some people might frown upon it because they're making you laugh in the process while they're talking about the news.
He has a way of underscoring. It's like, this is ludicrous.
Yeah, it's like, duh. I mean, and then of course, he is quite the comedian, to say the least. And if you get a chance, you should definitely check him out. And
I liked him as the pseudo sleazy British professor for community college on Community, NBC's Community.
Mm-hmm. All right, Surlana. Do you have anything else to add here?
I couldn't believe we got that much. I only had one other thing, but I can save it if we need to.
No, go ahead. Let's shoot it.
I found this little thing, a little article about private companies may profit by turning the moon into a space rest stop.
What?
What do you think about that? Imagine a Buc-ee's on the moon.
The cleanest bathrooms in the universe.
If you've never been to Texas and you've never driven in a car across Texas in the Triangle, which is from Dallas to Houston to San Antonio to back to Dallas or Austin, if you want to put that in the Triangle, it's Buc-ee's is famous truck stop. Well, actually, trucks don't really stop there. It's a motor stop.
And there's, not all of them have a truck stop, but the majority of them that are on the long hauls.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But it's famous. It has a full deli in there where people are making sandwiches for you.
There's so much different.
There's cooked food. It's a convenience store. It's a gift shop. It's a truck stop. It's a gas station. But they're famous for their bathrooms, men and women's bathrooms. You go in, not only do you have your own stall, you have your own room with a floor-to-ceiling louvered door that you can lock and says, a little thing you can twist, it says occupied or unoccupied, and nobody can get underneath it, nobody can look in, you're in your own little room. And it's the cleanest restrooms in Texas.
Yeah, it is impressive.
So imagine that on the moon.
They serve, hot food. They got like potato salad, and
Well, I didn't mean to talk about Buc-ee's, but anyway.
Back to the moon.
Back to the moon. There were maybe they'll have moon landings where it's just it's a way station where you just go to rest, get fueled up, and it'll help other missions to other places. So I just think that it's interesting that private companies they're trying to get in it. Paul Spudis, a scientist at Lunar and Planetary Institute and advisor to Moon Express, said there are definite business opportunities on the moon as long as you're in the business of space exploration and you're patient. But won't that upset the occupants of the moon.
What, the Nazis?
Space Nazis, aliens, you know.
Depending on which movie you've seen.
Yeah, or which documentary you've seen on YouTube or what book you've read.
Right.
So he says the commercial value lies entirely what people will do with it. I kind of like the idea of space exploration and getting to space being in private hands rather than the government's. What do you think?
I agree with you in that, in the sense
And
that because if we wait for the government to do anything, then we'll never get to space.
Being able to buy stock in a private company, you know.
Mhm.
So, I don't know, it's interesting to think about.
Yeah, it is food for thought. I mean, you know how I feel.
We should put the moon to work, make it do something for us. If we ain't going back there, you know.
Well, I think that I would really like to see us in space before the end of my lifetime, you know, exploring our solar system and making trips back and forth between planets. And, you know, it just, for me, I want to see that happen because, you know, I grew up on Star Trek and Star Wars, but mostly Star Trek. And, you know, it would just be really cool to see that. Now, you were reading an article about plasma drive?
Well, I just saw something that they're saying a plasma drive could get us to Mars in 39 days.
That's a lot faster than what they were talking about making the trip.
So
like, for example, in The Martian.
Humans could get there easily in 39 days?
39
Would be able
days.
to do it?
Oh, yeah. The trips.
Withstand it, I mean.
Trips to the moon would be like, phew, that would be quick, you know?
One question from K28.
Shoot.
Why is this called number 38 when there's no 37?
We'll make a correction to that. I think...
I'm like, I'm not in charge of numbering systems. That's completely you.
I am in charge of the numbering system, and I will go back and fix that in post. Thank you, K28, for being so observant.
He didn't mean that the way it sounded sarcastically.
No, we know K28, and he is loved by the show more than anybody could imagine, and he is...
He's got a big belt, too.
All right, Surlana, we're pretty much, I guess...
I can't believe we had that much to say.
Yeah, we did.
Without any preparation.
Yeah, it was just, you know, we scoured the interwebs for different interesting topics to talk about. And, you know, this is kind of like a normal night for us anyway when we chit-chat. Hey, did you see this or did you talk about that? So remember, this week is beta week. It will be back tomorrow with show number 038, according to K28. And we'll talk about more stuff. If you want to call in tomorrow, that'd be great. Most important, remember that... Comic Palooza is coming up, and we are going. June 18th. We are going to be there, and we're going to interview lots of people. And
go to comicpalooza.com. Look at the guest list. Do you see anybody you know that there's a question you'd always want to ask them? Hey, why not email us at spaceboy@spaceboyuniverse.com or Surlana@spaceboyuniverse.com or contact@spaceboyuniverse.com.
Look at the brain on Surlana. All right, I'm going to roll the music, Surlana. Say goodnight.
Good night.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Spaceboy Universe is hosted by Spaceboy and Surlana. Executive producer is Surlana. Producer credit goes out to Dennis Koch. Find Spaceboy at spaceboymusic.com and spaceboyuniverse.com. This has been a Spaceboy Universe production. You have reached your final destination. Good night, Space Cadets.